All right, let's talk about a feeling that has become, well, a constant companion in our hyperconnected world, the fear of missing out. You know it as FOMO. We're going to break down what it is, why it has such a powerful grip on us, and most importantly, how you can start reclaiming your focus and your life from it.
You know the feeling, right? It's late. You're just kind of scrolling through your phone and then you see it. Pictures of friends at a concert, on some amazing vacation, or at a party you didn't even know was happening. And you feel that little pang deep in your chest. It's a mix of envy, anxiety, and just loneliness. If that sounds familiar, trust me, you are not alone. So let's really dive into this.
So, what exactly is this feeling? Well, it has a name, and honestly, just understanding it is the very first step to getting a handle on it.
At its core, FOMO is this nagging anxiety that everybody else is living these better, more exciting lives. Now, look, this feeling isn't new. It's a classic case of what psychologists call social comparison theory, where we figure out own worth by seeing how we stack up against others. But here's the crucial difference today: social media. It puts everyone else's highlight reel right in your pocket, 24/7, and just supercharges that anxiety. And this feeling, it shows up in very real, often disruptive ways. It's that twitchy urge to compulsively check your phone for notifications. It's that green-eyed monster that pops up when you're scrolling through those perfectly curated posts. It yanks you right out of the present moment, making it impossible to focus on your work, your family, or even just relaxing, because a part of your brain is always wondering what you're missing out on. So why is this feeling so ridiculously powerful? Well, it's not a character flaw, it's actually hardwired into our brains. The roots of this feeling go way back. This contrast really gets to the heart of it. For our early ancestors, being included in the group, I'm talking for hunting, for protection, was literally a matter of life and death. Being excluded meant danger, and it set off a huge alarm in the brain's fear center. Well, that ancient survival instinct is still with us, but today it's being triggered constantly. Not by saber-toothed tigers, but by seeing a friend's birthday party you weren't invited to on Instagram.
And all this constant triggering of our ancient brain wiring, it isn't harmless. It has a very real cost, both to our mental health and our daily behavior.
And wow, can it become a vicious cycle fast? Feeling FOMO can lead to loneliness, anxiety, and just tank your self-esteem. But here's the kicker. Those negative feelings then make you more vulnerable to FOMO. So if you're already feeling a little lonely, seeing everyone together online is going to hit you that much harder. It creates this feedback loop that is just so tough to break. This also spills over into our actions. To avoid missing out, you might start saying yes to absolutely everything, which leads to overcommitment and total burnout. Then, when you're exhausted, where do you retreat? Yep, to more social media, which just fuels even more FOMO. It's this cycle of behavior that just wears you down physically and emotionally.
But, and this is a big but, it is not all doom and gloom. The crucial point here is that you can fight back. You can totally regain control. We're going to walk through a toolkit of powerful, practical strategies to do just that.
I absolutely love this idea. FOMO is basically aiming the spotlight of your attention onto everyone else's life. The goal of all these strategies is to grab that spotlight and shine it right back where it belongs, on your goals, your values, and your present moment. Okay, the first step is always awareness. You've got to acknowledge the feeling without judging yourself for it. Remember, it's a normal human instinct. Then get curious. What specifically triggers your FOMO? Is it a certain person's posts, a type of event? Once you know your triggers, you can start to define what's actually important to you by setting your own goals. This is a fantastic little mindfulness technique. When you feel that compulsive urge to check your phone, just don't react. Pause. Picture the urge as a wave in the ocean. You don't have to get swept away by it. You can just watch it. And you'll find that it peaks, and then, amazingly, it just passes. This gives you back your power of choice. It's huge. This is such a simple but profound mindset shift. You can actively fight that feeling of not enough that FOMO creates by practicing gratitude. Each day, just take a minute and identify 3 things you're genuinely grateful for. It literally rewires your brain to focus on the good stuff that's already right in front of you, not the shiny stuff you think you're missing online. And get this, here's a powerful number from a research study. They found that limiting social media use to just 30 minutes a day can lead to significant reductions in loneliness and depression. 30 minutes.
That's a concrete, totally achievable goal. So, how do you get to that 30-minute mark? Here's a clear plan. Start by turning off those notifications that are constantly screaming for your attention. Create phone-free zones, like the dinner table or your bedroom. If you're really serious, just delete the apps from your phone. That extra step of logging in through a browser adds some helpful friction. And finally, use technology to fight technology. There are great apps that can track your usage and help you stick to your limits. Ultimately, the best antidote to the fear of missing out on digital connections is to foster genuine ones. Schedule real time with real people, and work on your internal validation. Instead of hunting for likes, practice some positive self-talk. Remind yourself of your strengths. Learning a new skill is a fantastic way to prove to yourself that your own growth and fulfillment come from within, not from a screen. Now, for some people, these strategies might not feel like enough, and it is incredibly important to recognize when FOMO has become a more serious problem that might need some professional support. If you see yourself in these signs, if your performance at work is slipping, if your relationships are strained because you're always distracted, or if you just feel this constant inability to focus, it might be time to talk with a therapist. And listen, there is absolutely no shame in seeking help to build healthier behaviors and thought patterns. It's a sign of strength.
And we'll end with this question, because it's really the whole point. When our focus is constantly on what others are doing, we often completely neglect the most important things: the people, the opportunities, and the simple joys that are right here in our own lives, just waiting for our attention.